26 years old to carry out suicide bombings in the tribal region. So it's really destructive towards the state of Pakistan, in my personal opinion, and it must be occupied. The tribal region must be occupied by Pakistani forces and secure and make sure that there's a lot of security for the Pakistani people. Right here is a madrasa in Uzbekistan, which is another key country in having radical Muslim men coming mostly into Iraq, also called foreign fighters. How to rebuild Afghanistan. This is an important thing because Afghanistan is still a poor country and there's not enough funding. Due to the current economic crisis in America, I think that President Obama and his administration are straying away from Afghanistan and not building enough jobs and not building enough homes and building enough schools. There has to be a complete change in infrastructure in this country for the people to succeed. Because as long as there's poverty, there's going to be a reason to join extremism. So that we have to build a country some way that we're building Iraq to the day, where you have another way to go other than joining the Taliban. So we definitely have to build more schools. Currently, schools are being destroyed for girls by the Taliban. We have to reinstate more schools, make sure that education is the top thing in Afghanistan and throughout Pakistan. In the tribal regions, most of the kids are learning in madrasas. Most of the girls are cooped up inside their house, and the schools that are built are being destroyed by the Taliban. So I think that a key thing is for the war on terror to be defeated is education is the top thing. Jobs are a top thing. There has to be an economy in Afghanistan. There has to be a vibrant economy that's offering resources for the Afghani people. There also has to be more international aid. When President Barack Obama went in front of the rest of the countries of the world and asked for more troops and asked for more economic pressure on Afghanistan, they kind of turned their back because of the heavy casualties and the reinstallment of the Taliban. So definitely economic opportunities have to be built to stop extremism. And also, in my personal opinion, madrasas have to be destroyed in order to, and in that place put regular schools. I think that's one of the key improvements in America winning the war on terror. And now I'm going to show you some pictures. This is President Karzai. He was reinstated in 2001 after the U.S.-led invasion. He's a good man, but he has some ties. His brother is a warlord who has ties in the poppy business. Another thing that I want to say is that 90% of the heroin that's going into Europe and the rest of Asia is coming from Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a huge poppy producer, and up to millions and millions of dollars are generated, and millions of those dollars are going into the Taliban. So another thing that the U.S. has to do is find a supplement in order to put in front of the poppies so we can stop, so money can stop being generated to be funded to the Taliban. So we definitely have to stop poppy production. And there's a lot of corruption in Afghanistan currently. Hopefully Karzai and the Obama administration can change that. Here's a current map. Right here in southern Afghanistan, you can see that there's an extreme security risk as the Pakistani border and the tribal regions are in the gray area along the Afghanistan border. They're coming in through southern Afghanistan. Most of northern Afghanistan is secure due to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and the other Central Asian countries above it. There really isn't an influx of foreign fighters coming, which you'll see in southern Afghanistan. And right here in the white circles is the main poppy productions through Afghanistan. You'll see right here through southern Afghanistan where Taliban has control. It's rampant. There's rampant poppy production, and most of the money is being fueled into the Taliban. So there definitely has to be a stop in poppy production, in my opinion. These are U.S. soldiers right here. They're patrolling in Kabul, the largest city in Afghanistan. And they're patrolling during the Saturday market. Here is an Afghan man, not part of the Taliban as far as I know, but he's cultivating poppy crops. And you can see, as far as your eye can see, there's poppy crops everywhere. And these are generating millions and millions of dollars. And they'll smuggle this over Pakistan, and they'll smuggle it through Central Asia and Europe. And this is some of the purest heroin in the world. There's been a overdose in Europe has been on the high since this kind of heroin has been reinstated in Europe. It's a really pure heroin, and it's very dangerous. Here's Obama on his recent talk with President Zardari of Pakistan and President Hamid Karzai of Afghanistan. They were talking right here about the Taliban, how to put control, how to put a stable economy in Pakistan, how to put a stable economy in Afghanistan, and destroy the Taliban in doing that. And President Zardari said he's a man against the Taliban. The Pakistan was focusing so much of their military against India due to their nuclear proliferations of the early 90s and later in date, that they had so much troops in Kashmir. So President Obama pretty much is telling Zardari to move your troops to the tribal regions of the western part of Pakistan, because that's where the real threat is to Pakistan, is the Taliban. Here is a young man, not a Pakistani, not a Taliban fighter, but he was hurt along with his baby in a U.S. airstrike. This is another way that the U.S. will not win the war in Afghanistan or win the war in Iraq, by doing airstrikes. Because in doing airstrikes, you're killing innocent civilians. They premiered on Al Jazeera, which is one of the biggest Muslim TV networks in the Middle East. And by seeing this, you're generating more jihadists and you're generating more fighters. It causes more hate towards the United States and the Western nations that occupy Muslim countries. So it's a must to stop the airstrikes and the use of white phosphorus gas. This is the picture taken of early Soviet troops in the 1980s when they first invaded in Pakistan. They thought it was a clear road to Kabul. They thought you could see him holding the roads there. They thought it was a clear victory. They later did not understand the insurgency that would eventually come. And here are U.S. forces about to do a in-house break-in, which is pretty much if they have intel on Taliban fighters, they will go into a house and they will take the Taliban fighters out either by force or by the giving up of the Taliban forces. And this is pretty much was my presentation on Afghanistan and what I think the U.S. and President Obama and his administration need to do to win the war on terror. Pretty sure he knows that. He's the President of the United States, but I wanted to show that.